You see, in many spiritual traditions and in the realm of circadian rhythms, this time often referred to as the witching hour or the hour of the wolf, is considered a potent and magical period. It's a time when the veil between our conscious and subconscious minds grows thin, when our connection to the universe seems to intensify, and when we might find ourselves suddenly awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep has decided to play hide and seek with us. But fear not, for I'm not here to simply point out this curious phenomenon. No, my friends, I'm here to suggest that if you find yourself awake during this bewitching time, there are 3 things you might consider doing. Now, don't get too excited. I'm not going to tell you to leap out of bed and start your day at this ungodly hour. That would be rather cruel, wouldn't it? Instead, I'm going to propose something far more interesting, something that might just change the way you perceive yourself and your place in this vast, mysterious universe. Before we dive into these 3 things, let's take a moment to consider the nature of sleep and wakefulness. You see, we tend to think of these states as binary: you're either asleep or you're awake. But is it really that simple? Is there not a whole spectrum of consciousness that exists between these 2 poles? Think about it. When you're dreaming, are you truly asleep? Your body might be at rest, but your mind is incredibly active, creating entire worlds and narratives. And when you're awake, are you always fully conscious? Haven't you ever found yourself driving down a familiar road, suddenly realizing you don't remember the last few miles? Where was your consciousness then? You see, consciousness is not a switch that's either on or off. It's more like a dimmer with various levels of intensity and focus. And this time, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., is a unique point on that spectrum. It's a liminal space, a threshold between worlds, where the rigid structures of our daytime consciousness begin to soften and blur. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's all very poetic, Alan, but what does it have to do with me waking up at 3 a.m.? But don't you see, this is precisely the point. When you wake up during this time, you're not fully in the world of sleep, nor are you fully in the world of waking. You're in between, in a state where the normal rules and limitations of your consciousness don't quite apply. And it's in this state that we have an opportunity to explore aspects of ourselves and our reality that we might not normally have access to. It's like finding a secret door in a house you thought you knew every inch of. Wouldn't you be curious to see what's on the other side? So let's talk about the first thing you might consider doing if you find yourself awake during this magical time, and that is to simply be. Now, I know what you're thinking. Be what, Alan? Be annoyed that I'm awake? Be worried about how tired I'll be tomorrow? No, my friends. I mean to be simply be, without qualification, without purpose, without agenda. You see, we spend so much of our lives doing. We're always in motion, always striving, always trying to get somewhere or achieve something. Even when we're relaxing, we're often doing so with a purpose to recharge so we can do more later. But what if, just for a few moments, you allowed yourself to simply be? Lie there in your bed, eyes open or closed, and just exist. Feel the weight of your body against the mattress. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Listen to the sounds around you, perhaps the soft whir of a fan, the distant bark of a dog, or simply the profound silence of the sleeping world. Don't try to control your thoughts or empty your mind. That's not the point. Instead, watch your thoughts as they come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. Don't judge them, don't follow them, don't resist them. Just observe. In doing this, or rather in not doing, you might begin to notice something extraordinary. You might begin to sense that your existence, your being, is not dependent on your doing. You are not your job, your relationships, your achievements, or your failures. You are not even your thoughts or your feelings. You simply are. This realization, my friends, is profound. It's a glimpse into the true nature of reality, a peek behind the curtain of our everyday perceptions. You see, we go through life identifying with all sorts of things: our bodies, our minds, and our roles in society. We say, I am a teacher, or I am a parent, or I am happy, or I am worried. But in this moment of simply being, you might realize that you are the awareness in which all these things appear. You are not the content of your consciousness, the thoughts, feelings, and sensations that come and go. You are the consciousness itself, the space in which all experiences arise and subside. And this consciousness, this awareness, is not separate from the universe around you. It is the universe experiencing itself through the particular configuration of matter and energy that you call you. Now, I know this might sound a bit abstract, a bit out there, but stick with me, because this understanding has profound implications for how we live our lives. You see, when we realize that we are not separate from the universe, but are the universe itself in human form, it changes everything. It means that your problems, your struggles, your stories, and your triumphs are not just your own, they are the universe's problems, struggles. The universe is not something out there that you're living in. You are the universe, living itself. And this brings us to the second thing you might consider doing if you find yourself awake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Now, I know what you're thinking. Gratitude. At 3 a.m. when I should be sleeping, you must be joking, Alan. But hear me out, because this isn't your run-of-the-mill gratitude practice. You see, when we practice gratitude in our daily lives, we often focus on the things we have: our health, our loved ones, our possessions. And while there's nothing wrong with this, it still maintains a separation between us and them, between the one who is grateful and the things we're grateful for. But in this liminal state, in this in-between space where the boundaries of our normal consciousness are blurred, we have an opportunity to experience a deeper, more profound form of gratitude. We can be grateful not just for what we have, but for what we have. Lying there in the quiet darkness, bring your attention to the simple fact of your existence. Isn't it extraordinary? Out of all the infinite possibilities, here you are, a conscious being, aware of your own awareness. The atoms that make up your body were forged in the hearts of stars billions of years ago. The energy that animates you is the same energy that powers the sun and moves the planets in their orbits. And it's not just that you exist, but that you exist as you, with your unique set of experiences, thoughts, feelings, and perspectives, in all the vastness of space and time. There has never been and will never be another you. You are a once-in-a-universe event. A cosmic miracle. Feel the profound gratitude for this miracle of existence. Let it wash over you, fill you up, until you feel as though you might burst with the sheer wonder of it all. And as you do, you might notice something strange happening. The boundaries between you and the world around you might start to feel less solid, less real. You might begin to sense that this gratitude isn't something you're doing, but something that's happening through you. It's as if the universe itself is expressing gratitude for its own existence, through the particular configuration of matter and energy that you call you. And in this realization, you might find a profound sense of peace. Because if you are the universe and the universe is you, then everything is exactly as it should be. Your struggles, your pain, your joy, your love, they're all part of the cosmic dance, the grand play of existence. This doesn't mean you should be complacent or stop striving to improve your life and the world around you. Far from it. But it does mean that you can approach life with a sense of ease, of playfulness, of wonder. Because no matter what happens, you are the universe experiencing itself. And what could be more amazing than that? Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's all well and good, Alan, but what about when life gets really tough? What about when we're facing real problems, real pain? And that's a fair question. It's easy to feel at one with the universe when everything's going well. But what about when it's not? And that brings us to the third thing you might consider doing if you find yourself awake during these early morning hours: embrace your shadow. Now, when I say shadow, I'm not talking about the absence of light that falls behind you on a sunny day. I'm talking about the parts of yourself that you typically try to ignore, repress, or deny. You see, we all have aspects of ourselves that we're not particularly fond of. Maybe it's our tendency to procrastinate, or our quick temper, or our fear of failure. We often try to push these parts of ourselves away to pretend they don't exist. But in doing so, we create a split within ourselves, a division between the parts we accept and the parts we reject. But here's the thing: just as you are the universe experiencing itself, these shadow aspects are also the universe. They're not some alien force that's invaded you. They're part of you, part of the totality of who you are. And by rejecting them, you're rejecting a part of yourself, a part of the universe. So in these quiet hours of the night, when your defenses are down and your conscious mind is not fully in control, you have an opportunity to acknowledge and integrate these shadow aspects. And you might be surprised at what you find when you do. Start by bringing to mind one of these aspects of yourself that you typically try to avoid. Maybe it's a behavior you're not proud of, or a fear that you usually try to ignore. Don't judge it. Don't try to change it. Just observe it as you observed your thoughts earlier. And as you observe, ask yourself, what is this part of me trying to tell me? What need is it trying to meet? What lesson is it trying to teach me? You might be surprised at the answers that come. You might find that your procrastination is actually a cry for rest and self-care in a world that constantly demands productivity. Your quick temper might be a misguided attempt to protect yourself from perceived threats. Your fear of failure might be trying to keep you safe from the pain of disappointment. As you start to understand these shadow aspects, you might find that they're not as scary or as bad as you thought. They're just parts of you that have been misunderstood, parts that need your attention and care. And here's where it gets really interesting. As you embrace these shadow aspects, as you integrate them into your conscious awareness, you might find that they transform. The energy that was tied up in resisting and repressing these parts of yourself becomes available to you. Your procrastination might turn into a healthy ability to rest and recharge. Your quick temper might become a passion for justice. Your fear of failure might transform into a drive for excellence. You see, these shadow aspects are not your enemies. They're not something to be conquered or eliminated. They're parts of you that need to be understood, accepted, and integrated. And in doing so, you become more whole, more authentic, more fully yourself. And isn't that what we're all striving for in the end? To be fully ourselves, to express our unique configuration of the universe in all its complexity and contradiction. To dance our unique dance in the cosmic ballet? Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Alan, this all sounds very nice, but what does it have to do with waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m.? Can't we do all this during the day? And you're right, of course. You can practice being, cultivate gratitude, and embrace your shadow at any time of day. But there's something special about these early morning hours. It's a time when the world is quiet, when the demands of daily life are at their lowest. It's a time when our conscious minds are not fully engaged, allowing us to access deeper levels of awareness. In many spiritual traditions, this time is considered particularly auspicious for spiritual practice. The ancient yogis called it the Brahma Muhurta, or the Creator's Hour, and believed it to be the best time for meditation and self-reflection. But even if you don't subscribe to any particular spiritual tradition, you can still take advantage of this unique time. Think of it as a gift, an unexpected pocket of time in which you can explore the depths of your being without the distractions of the waking world. Of course, this doesn't mean you should set an alarm for 3 a.m. every day. Sleep is important, and we shouldn't disrupt our natural rhythms unnecessarily. But when you do find yourself naturally awake during these hours, instead of tossing and turning and willing yourself back to sleep, why not use the time for something extraordinary? Imagine if every time you woke up during these hours, you took a few moments to simply be, to cultivate deep gratitude, and to embrace your shadow. How might that change you over time? How might it shift your perspective on yourself and the world around you? You might find that you start to carry this awareness into your waking life. You might find yourself pausing in the middle of a busy day to simply be. You might find yourself overwhelmed with gratitude for the simple fact of your existence while stuck in traffic. You might find yourself embracing and integrating aspects of yourself that you've been running from for years. And as you do this, you might start to notice changes in your life. Not dramatic, overnight transformations, but subtle shifts in how you perceive and interact with the world. You might find that you're more patient, more compassionate, not just with others, but with yourself. You might find that you're more resilient in the face of challenges, more able to see the bigger picture. You might even find that your relationship with sleep itself changes. Instead of seeing these early morning awakenings as a nuisance, you might start to welcome them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. You might find that even if you don't fall back asleep, you wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and energized, having spent the early hours in a state of deep rest and awareness. Now, I want to be clear about something. This practice, like any spiritual or psychological work, is not a quick fix. It's not a magic bullet that will solve all your problems overnight. It's a journey, a process of continual unfolding and discovery. There will be nights when you wake up and don't feel like doing anything but going back to sleep. There will be times when you try to simply be and find your mind racing with worries and plans. There will be shadow aspects that are painful to confront, gratitude that feels forced or hollow. And that's okay. That's part of the process. The key is not to judge yourself, not to create an ideal of how this practice should look. Remember, you are the universe experiencing itself. And sometimes the universe experiences itself as tired or worried or resistant. That too is part of the dance. The goal is not to achieve some perfect state of being, but to become more aware, more present, more accepting of all that you are. It's about expanding your consciousness to include more and more of your experience, both the parts you like and the parts you don't. And as you do this, you might start to notice something extraordinary. You might start to see that the boundaries between you and the world are not as solid as you thought. You might start to sense the interconnectedness of all things, the web of relationships that ties everything together. You might start to see that your actions, your thoughts, your very being ripple out into the world in ways you can't even imagine. That every moment of awareness, every act of kindness, every instance of embracing yourself affects not just you, but the entire universe. Because remember, you are not separate from the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through your unique perspective. And as you become more aware, more integrated, more authentically yourself, you change the universe. It's like a hologram where each tiny piece contains the information for the whole. As you change the whole. As you become more aware, you increase the awareness of the entire universe. As you embrace your shadow, you help the universe embrace its own complexity and contradiction. And isn't that a magnificent thought? That by simply being, by cultivating gratitude, by embracing your shadow, you're participating in the evolution of the cosmos itself. That your personal journey of growth and self-discovery is also the universe's journey. So the next time you find yourself awake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., then remember this. Remember that you've been given a gift, an opportunity to explore the depths of your being, and by extension, the depths of the universe itself. Take a few deep breaths. Feel the weight of your body against the bed. Listen to the sounds around you. And then if you feel called to engage in one or all of these practices, simply be without agenda or purpose. Cultivate a deep gratitude for your existence. Embrace and integrate your shadow aspects. And as you do, know that you're not just lying in bed in the middle of the night. You're participating in a cosmic dance, a grand adventure of self-discovery and universal evolution. You're the universe waking up to itself, one conscious moment at a time. So embrace these early morning awakenings. Welcome them as opportunities for growth and transformation. Use them as portals to a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the cosmos. And who knows, you might just find that these moments, these unexpected pockets of wakefulness in the depths of the night, become some of the most profound and transformative experiences of your life. You might find that they change not just how you sleep, but how you live, how you love, how you interact with the world around you. Because in the end, that's what this is all about. It's not just about what you do between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. It's about how those experiences ripple out into your life, how they change your perspective, how they shift your consciousness. It's about waking up not just from sleep, but from the sleep of unconsciousness, the sleep of separation, the sleep of forgetting who and what we truly are. It's about remembering our true nature as conscious, aware beings, as unique expressions of the universe itself. So the next time you find yourself awake in these early hours, don't fight it, don't resist it. Instead, welcome it as an opportunity, as an invitation to explore the depths of your being. Use it as a chance to simply be, to cultivate gratitude, to embrace your shadow. And as you do, remember that you're not alone in your bed staring at the ceiling. You're part of something vast and wonderful, something that stretches across time and space. You're the universe waking up to itself, one conscious moment at a time. And in that realization, in that remembering, you might just find the peace, the joy, the sense of purpose you've been searching for. You might just find that the answer to all your questions, the solution to all your problems has been right there all along, waiting for you in the quiet hours of the night. So here's to those early morning awakenings. Here's to the opportunities they present, the growth they offer, the transformations they invite. Here's to you, my friends, in all your complexity and contradiction, in all your beauty and potential. Here's to the universe waking up to itself, one conscious being at a time. And here's to the grand adventure of existence, unfolding moment by moment, night by night, awakening by awakening. May you embrace these moments, my friends. May you use them well. And may you always remember the truth of who and what you really are, not just a person lying awake in bed, but the universe itself, experiencing the miracle of consciousness, the wonder of existence, the joy of being. And with that, I'll leave you to your early morning musings. Sweet dreams, my friends, or better yet, sweet awakenings. For in the end, isn't that what life is all about? One grand cosmic awakening, unfolding moment by moment, night by night, lifetime by lifetime. So wake up, my friends. Wake up to the truth of who you are. Wake up to the wonder of existence. Wake up to the miracle of consciousness. And in that awakening, may you find all that you've been searching for, and more than you ever dreamed possible.